762 is standard form, and this is just another form of the equations of a linear equation. So we've used slope-intercept form, we've used point-slope form, and standard form is just another way that we can write linear equations. Standard form of a linear equation allows you to find the intercepts quickly. So we already know how easy it is to graph lines when we know the y-intercept. And so standard form helps us to find the y-intercept and the x-intercept quickly. Alright, standard form is ax plus by is equal to c, where a, b, and c are all real numbers and a and b are not both 0. Alright, so step 1 is using standard form to find x and y intercepts. Okay? So what are the x and y intercepts of the graph of 3x plus 4y is equal to 24? Well, what you have to know in using standard form is to find your intercepts, you let something be 0. So to find the x-intercept, you plug 0 in for y, then solve for x. So to find the x-intercept, you let y equal 0. Alright, so we're going to use this equation, 3x plus 4y equals 24. 3x plus 4y equals 24. So to find the x-intercept, we're going to let y equal 0. So 3x plus 4 times 0 equals 24. Well, we know that 4 times 0 is 0. We know that 3x plus 0 is 3x. So 3x is equal to 24. I'm going to divide by 3. And I have x is equal to 8. So that tells me that the x-intercept is 8. That means this graph is going to cross the x-axis at 8. Alright, to find the y-intercept, we're going to plug 0 in for x, then solve for y. So I'm using the same equation. 3x plus 4y is equal to 24. I'm going to let x equal 0. So 3 times 0 plus 4y is equal to 24. So 4y is equal to 24. When I divide both sides by 4, y is equal to 6. So the y-intercept is 6. Now, that means that I can use the x and y intercept to graph this. So if I have a little graph, I know that the x-intercept is 8. So I'm going to graph the x-intercept at 8 because this is the x-axis and this is the y. And the y-intercept I'm going to graph at 6. So once I know the x and the y-intercept, I can quickly graph the line for this linear equation. Okay? Alright, lots of things. You need to make sure you're pausing and that you're copying these notes and that you're watching these examples, and you may need to watch them more than once. Alright, graphing a line using intercepts. Well, we kind of already did that in the first example, but we're going to go ahead and do it again. X minus 2y is equal to negative 2. Well, first I have to find the intercept. So to find the x-intercept, let y equal 0. So I'm going to use this equation. X minus 2y is equal to negative 2. And I'm going to plug 0 in for y. So that's going to be x minus 0 is equal to negative 2. X minus 0 is x, so x is negative 2. And then to find the y-intercept, I'm going to let x equal 0. So I'm going to use that same equation. I'm going to put 0 in for x. So I've got negative 2y is equal to negative 2. Divide by negative 2, so y is equal to 1. Alright, so I have my two intercepts. I have the x-intercept is negative 2, the y-intercept is 1. So I'm going to graph negative 2 for the x-intercept. So on the x-axis, I'm going to graph negative 2. And for the y-intercept, I'm going to graph 1. So that's here. I have my 2 points. I can connect them. And I have a line. This is the most important thing you need to remember out of this lesson. To find your x-intercept, let y equal 0. To find your y-intercept, let x equal 0. Okay? Alright. Graphing horizontal and vertical lines. The graph of y is equal to any number is a horizontal line. So anytime you have y is equal to a number, you're going to get a horizontal line. Like y is equal to 1. That's because in every one of these ordered pairs, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, negative 1, 1, negative 2, 1, negative 3, 1. In every one of those ordered pairs, your y value is 1. Okay? So that's a horizontal line. The graph of x is equal to any number is a vertical line. That's because if I graph a vertical line and I have negative 1, 1, negative 1, 2, negative 1, 3, negative 1, 4, negative 1, negative 1, negative 1, negative 2. In every one of these, the x values of all of those ordered pairs are negative 1. So anytime you have x is equal to a number, you get a vertical line. Alright, so if I graph x is equal to 3, if I go to the x-axis and I look at 3, and I put points where x is 3, I'm going to get a vertical line, right? So anytime I have x is equal to a number, I get a vertical line. Alright, graph y is equal to 3. Well, if I go on the y-axis and I go to 3, and everywhere y is 3, I make a point, then I'm going to have a horizontal line because every one of these ordered pairs has 3 in the y spot of the ordered pair. So y is equal to always graphs a horizontal line. Alright, if you have a graphing calculator, you can use it to graph y is equal to anything. Okay? So if I wanted to graph y is equal to 5, I would get a horizontal line. This button on the top left corner is y is equal to, and I can type any number I want to in there. Y is equal to 1, I'm going to get a horizontal line at 1. Okay? Okay, then sometimes we're given standard form, or we're given point slope form, or we're given slope intercept form, and we're asked to change it to standard form. So this question says, what is y is equal to negative 3/7 x plus 5 written in standard form using integers? Well, that means no fractions. I want whole numbers. So I'm going to start with y is equal to negative 3/7 x plus 5. And I'm changing this to standard form. Well, remember, standard form is ax plus by is equal to c. So I need x plus y is equal to a number. Alright, well I have y on the left, so I need to move x to the left. Well, this x term is negative 3/7, so I'm going to add 3/7 x to both sides. And now I've got 3/7 x plus y is equal to 5. But this said using integers, which means no fractions. So I'm going to multiply by the denominator to get rid of the fractions. So I'm going to multiply this whole side by 7 and this whole side by 7. Well, when I multiply 7 times 3/7, this is like 7 over 1 times 3/7, then I get 21 over 7, which is 3. Which means I could have divided those 7s out and I would have just had 3 to begin with. So this is 3x plus 7 times y is equal to 35. And that is the equation written in standard form. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing with y minus 2 is equal to negative 1/3 times x plus 6. Y minus 2 equals to negative 1/3 times x plus 6. Alright, well this is in point slope form. So the first thing I need to do is distribute. So I've got y minus 2 is equal to negative 1/3 x. Now I got to figure out what is negative 1/3 times 6, which is the same as 6 over 1, right? A negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times 6 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. Negative 6 over 3 is negative 2, right? So when I distribute here, I got negative 1/3 x, distribute here, and I'm going to get minus 2. Alright, I need to move x and y to the left. And I need to move my whole numbers to the right. Alright, so I'm going to say this is negative 1/3 x. I'm going to add 1/3 x to both sides. And I'm going to have 1/3 x plus y minus 2 is equal to negative 2. Now I've still got a whole number on the left here, so I need to add it to the right, and I get 1/3 x plus y is equal to 0. So I'm going to get rid of this fraction by multiplying by the denominator. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. And I'm going to get 3 times 1/3 is going to be 3 over 3, which is 1. So I'm going to have 1x plus 3y when I distribute to the y is equal to 0. And that's written in standard form, because I have x and y equal to a whole number. Alright, so the summary of standard form. And all linear equations. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Using numbers, that's something like y is equal to negative 2/3 x plus 6. Point slope form is y minus y1 is equal to m times the quantity x minus x1. With numbers, that's y minus 4 is equal to negative 2/3 times the quantity x minus 3. And then standard form is ax plus by is equal to c, or something like 2x plus 3y is equal to 18. We've also learned what an x-intercept is, where the graph crosses the x-axis. What a y-intercept is, where the graph crosses the y-axis. You have to know the difference in the x and y-axis. This is y, this is x. We know what a point is, and we know how to find slope using rise over run. Alright, lots of stuff going on. So you've got to make sure you watch these videos over and over, that you're taking notes and that you're studying these notes.